Good evening, everybody. I hope everybody can hear me. We are here tonight for the Southeast Area Transit District facility expansion, state project number 414-73. This is for the Southeast Area Transit District, and it's a bus operating facility down in the southeast corner of the state. Virtual public info meeting to go over a little bit about what the project extents are. At the beginning here, we will go over some housekeeping. Hello, my name is Charles, the project manager for this project. We're going to go over, like I said, a little bit of housekeeping. We'll do a formal presentation of the project, and then at the end, we will have a live question and answer session. Proposes as about a 55,000 square foot facility to store and charge the electric buses and paratransit vehicles, to house administration staff and operations activities for the Southeast Area Transit District. This is at 21 Route 12 in Preston. Also, as part of this project is the planning for a relatively large solar installation around the building as well. This is some of my contact information. If any questions arise after, we have this live event right now, and we will take questions and answers at the end, but we also will allow for questions and comments through May 12th. That's when that ends. So you can go to the project website, which has a lot of information on it. That's my phone number, that's my email, and they will show up many different times, so you don't have to jot them down right now. The Title VI, your civil rights, no person shall, on the basis of race, color, or national origin, be excluded from participation or subject to discrimination in the development of this project. You go to either one of those links to fill out a voluntary post-meeting survey. You can click that or scan that QR code, and there's also civil rights information available at that link. A recording of this presentation will be posted on the YouTube channel after the event. It's usually up the next day or a day or two later. And there is closed captioning, which we'll go over how to set that up, including non-English translations through Zoom and through YouTube. This is just the Connecticut DOT's Title VI notice to the public. I will just give you a minute to read through that, or you could take a screenshot if you wish. How to view the captions and subtitles in Zoom. On the bottom of the screen, there's a show captions CC button. You would click on that arrow. It opens up another dialog box, speaking language, where you can choose English or one of 20 or so different language options. And again, closed captions are also available on YouTube after. How to use the question and answer. Similar fashion, probably on the bottom of the screen, along with the closed captions, there's a bubble for Q&A. You would click on that, and then a window pops up on the screen. You could type the question into the text box and enter. And if you are on audio only, you would dial *9 to raise and lower your hand to ask questions. And as I said, this information will be posted a few more times, and this will be again at the end of the slide. But my email, my phone number, another way to the Zoom Q&A. You can ask questions in the Zoom chat, or you can go to the project webpage, and the comment period is open again through May 12th. The project team, the DOT Facilities Design Group is on the call with us here tonight. Adam Fox, PE, the project principal engineer, myself, Charles Wiegert, the project manager, and Emily NS, who is the project engineer. The building was designed through a consultant, Jacobs Engineering. And then our public transportation group within DOT, it has their representatives on the screen. And then the Southeast Area Transit District, Michael Carroll, is the general manager who we're also coordinating the design with. And with that, I will pass the speaking over to Emily to take over.
Thanks, Charlie. Thanks to everybody for attending tonight's meeting. I'm going to just start us off with a little project background and follow up with the purpose and need, and then a project overview of what we plan on doing. So a little project background. The Southeast Area Transit District, or SEAT, I'll refer to them as SEAT, is a multi-municipal public agency that serves 9 towns in New London County. You can see that on the map, their service area on the right. They provide public transportation services using both fixed routes, which is for what we know as regular city bus routes, and non-fixed routes, which fall under their microtransit programs, which you can also see on their screen. These programs include demand response for some towns and also paratransit services, which are provided within a 3/4 mile radius of the fixed route system, as shown on the right. For those who qualify for a certificate under the ADA or Americans with Disabilities Act. Their headquarters and current facility is located in Preston, Connecticut, which is where this project will take place. And I'll give more details on this in the next few slides. Okay, next slide.
Did that work? Because I am not seeing that screen anymore. Okay, look back. There we go. I got you.
Okay. So why are we doing this project? SEAT's mission is to provide a safe, effective, and outstanding public transportation system with a focus on sustainability. To do this, they want to shift their facility to 100% zero emissions, while also providing the space and accommodations for their growing fleet and operations. With the changeover to an all-electric fleet, they also need the right space and equipment to maintain, store, and charge it. Their goal is consistent with the state initiatives for zero emissions and Connecticut's Public Act 22-25, which phases out diesel public transit vehicles and requires all-electric fleets by 2030. So let's take a look at what their current facility looks like and what they use for their fleet in the next slide. So this is an aerial photo of SEAT's current facility. It's delineated in red. The site's about 30 acres in size. It's located in a commercial and residential zone. It's surrounded mostly by lightly wooded open space. We have Route 12 or Laurel Hill Road and Route 2A along the south of the parcel. Along the west and north, we have town-owned property. We also have the State Hospital Pond in the northwest corner and Laurel Brook that runs behind the property to the north. To the east and the south, we have residential parcels as well, including the notch in the south part of the property that's also residential. This site is served by power, telecom, and water utilities, and there is no natural gas line available for connection, and there's no sewer extensions in the foreseeable future. So this site is served by electricity and by a subsurface sewage disposal system, which is just a septic tank and leaching fields. And for SEAT's operations, they only have one building. It's about 30,000 square feet in size, which houses all of their current admin and operations space, indoor fleet storage, and their maintenance space, including a wash bay. This building has not been upgraded or expanded since it was put into service in 1982. So as you could imagine, there's not enough room for any of these activities to really effectively take place on this site. They need another building to house other activities to make their operations more efficient and available. Right now, the garage spaces in the bays are not wide enough for their current buses. So that is another big reason to upgrade the facilities so that we can actually have a space for them to safely come in and be maintained and stored. Okay. Next slide. Okay, just a little background on SEAT's current fleet and facility conditions. They have a combination of diesel and hybrid full-size buses, which you can see in the upper left-hand corner. That's actually a hybrid bus for their fixed routes. And for their non-fixed routes, they use what you can see in the bottom left, a paratransit van. I'll refer to those as vans for this presentation. And they are gas-powered currently. Their plan is to transition all of the buses and vans to electric. So there will be battery electric buses, BEBs, as shown in the upper right-hand corner. That's just an example of one. And an example of an EV van is in the lower right-hand corner. Their current fleet is it's just under 40 buses. They want to increase the fleet to about 50. So that'll be another part of this project to accommodate for fleet growth. Okay, next slide. What is the project overview? For this project, we intend on leaving the existing building. That will be renovated under a separate project. So under this project, we will involve the design and construction of a new 55,000 square foot building with bus and van interior parking, storage, and charging. And just note that there won't be maintenance in this new building. And the new building will also house admin and office spaces. As part of this project, the rooftop on the new building will be solar ready. And I'll show you in the next couple of slides where that will be. And also there's a proposed solar array or solar farm, which we would know it as, in the south part of their parcel. Next slide. Okay, so this is a north-oriented site overview. This is actually an earlier concept of the layout. You can see it's a little faded, but the existing building is in the upper right-hand corner. The proposed building is outlined in black. So this will be just south of the existing building. And there really won't be much change to vehicular traffic. It's just that passenger vehicles, so employees and visitors, will come in and just enter on the southernmost drive. And in this parking lot, this will be about twice as big as their current lot. And it'll have several ADA spaces and several spaces for EV charging, which you can see in the corner. You can see all those black dots in the corner there. And the proposed building will, this will house a few bays, I think it's 8, for bus storage and charging. So buses will just continue north. And if they need to be maintained, they'll just continue into the old existing building. And let's see a little more detail with an updated view in the next slide. Okay, so just a little bit of a different orientation. You can see where the proposed and the existing facilities are. And so south of the proposed facility and south of the parking area will be, so this big open area along Laurel Hill Road. That is the proposed area for the solar array. And let's see. So as I mentioned, the buses will, there's not much change to their circulation here, just that when they are ready to be stored and charged, they will just come into the new building. And anything that needs maintenance will continue north to the existing facility. Okay. And I'll show you more details about what's inside the new building in the next slide. Okay, so this is a rendering of the facility. This just gives you a general idea of what it'll look like. It may not look exactly like this when it's done, but as you could see in the south area of the building will be the admin and operations space. And you could see the entrance over by, it's closest to the drive. In this picture, yeah, I apologize, there are a couple of skylights highlighted that they may be there, they may not be there. They may be oriented differently in the very end, but they will most likely be there. Over the bus storage area, that is the rooftop solar array. And behind the bus storage area will be just some mechanical storage space and equipment storage. And you can see the existing building in the back there. And it appears in this rendering, the bays will definitely be wide enough for buses to fit in. So that is great news. So yeah, we can head to the next slide. Sorry about that. Just a couple of notes on potential impacts of the project schedule. We are anticipating that FTA will issue a categorical, exclusion for this site. And all that means is that it's an environmental review to make sure there's no impacts to natural resources, state historic properties, and disadvantaged communities. Right now, for the state side of things, we need a couple reviews to take place, including tribal consultations and the historic property overview. So those are expected to be completed next month. Okay, next slide. And if all goes according to plan, if we don't have any other hiccups, our design is expected to be completed by July of next year. And the construction will start in the spring of 2027 with the completion of construction in the fall of 2029. The project is going to be about 50 million with 80% of that funding coming from federal funds and 20% from state funds. And we will open it up to questions specific to the project.
I do, I do just want to mention two more things. That one of the big concerns with charging the vehicles is having the electric battery buses inside the building. Along with the design is an elaborate and extensive fire protection system that goes into these buildings. This isn't the first building that the DOT has done to house battery electric buses. We have a vetted process through our insurance to make sure that everything is done to prevent the buses from, catching fire, and then to handle the unlikely event that does occur. That it always seems to be a question and a concern, so I just want to mention that. And then one of the initiatives or one of the driving factors to this is that there Public Act 22-25 was a legislative initiative to transition the state bus system to battery electric buses and to phase out the diesel fleet that it has. So as the buses age out, they're not replaced with new diesel buses, they're replaced with fully electric. And no new diesel buses are allowed to be purchased. So we are already kind of behind the 8 ball on building up these facilities to handle the battery electric demand that they have. So we're generally, this project is to help with the Seat Area Transit District, but we're kind of working our way throughout the state to upgrade all the facilities to be able to handle the battery charging and the demand that requires. As of right now, I don't see any questions. There's none in the chat. There's none in the Q&A. We'll stay open for a couple more minutes here. Can you still see the final slide that has all the contact information on it?
I can, yes.
Right. So, if something comes to mind later on tonight or tomorrow, I do some of my best thinking late at night in bed while I'm sleeping. If any questions come up, feel free to reach out, email, phone, any of those options. And you should be able to find a recording of this on YouTube, in a day or two.
Hello,
Claire?
I don't know. Can you hear me? Yes, then you can.
Yes,
Okay.
then you can.
Yep.
Okay.
So, yes, thank you. You did. Oh, and I have an echo with myself. You did address the concern about fires, but I'm wondering how that ties in with this article that I did send, that it says the state of Connecticut replaced the electric vehicles. State of Connecticut, which manages the fleet, pulled the entire lineup, replacing them with diesel engines. That was reported by the New Haven Register on July 26th. That was 2022. So what has been the development since that time? Yeah, go ahead.
So I can answer that question. So there was an incident at the Hamden facility, and as a reaction to that event, the state pulled the battery electric bus fleet from the roadway network while there was an investigation being done, both by the National Transportation Safety Board and the DOT and several other, the manufacturer, in order to identify what the issue was. And I can't speak to what the issue that was identified, but it was corrected by the manufacturer, and we have since been running the fleet for several years now, with battery electric bus fleet throughout the state.
Has there been consideration, thank you, has there been consideration to, I'd imagine this is the case with buses, I only know it is the cases with electric cars, that they're heavier because of the battery weight, and therefore it's more wear and tear on roads. Has that been analyzed?
Our We have the state roadway network and the state DOT has a specific pavement management group that analyzes what the pavement thicknesses and pavement maintenance is. And primarily it was truck traffic and the volume of trucks that impacts the wear and tear on our pavement system. And the buses are so much less traffic than truck traffic in general.
But just for my edification, are the electric buses heavier than the diesel buses?
That is correct.
But you're saying there are fewer of them than there are of trucks?
Correct. Truck traffic is our primary load that is being carried by our pavement system.
Okay, thank you.
Are you all set?
Oh, I am. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep, just want to make sure.
Yeah. I thought I'd signed off. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.